Welcome everybody to session 2 of RSL Active's Veteran and First Responder Yoga. It's great to see your faces back here again, and I see that there's some new faces, so a big welcome to you all. The word's getting out there, that's the best bit. I like to be able to hear, you know, people talking about the program and inviting everyone in to be able to participate. For the longer members that have followed us around as well, big welcome to you. And also for our online viewers for the on-demand option, a big welcome to you, welcome back. All right, so today we're going to be building on what we learned from last week. However, if you haven't attended before, that's okay, because we review and go through in stages to make sure that we can do some movements that is fit for your body and range of movement for today. Our yoga lessons are trauma informed, and what that means is that you have the choice to be able to take up the suggestions that I make. There's no right and wrong in yoga, it's what feels best in your body for your range and movement. So one movement is not better than any others because it's all about your choice for the movement today. And you can also choose to, if you need to take a break, is just sit down. That's also part of yoga, is knowing and being mindful of what you're able to do at that particular point in time. So with that said, over the first few weeks, I'll like to do it a bit start and stop. And what that does is enables us to be able to, later on down the track, follow on with a full flow from start to finish, which we'll work up to. However, we want to know what movements are, so then when we do get to that stage, we're not sort of confused about following on, because you know what's best for your body in a specific pose. All right, so what we're going to be doing over the next 60 minutes is a beginner level yoga flow, start, stop. And we'll be going through a few things, which is shoulders, usually knees as well, something that might help you back. And also, first and foremost, is breathing. So if we could, let's all take our seats. There's some seats there where you could take a seat on the ground. And we'll start off by getting grounded and arriving on our mat. In a yoga flow, this is a common practice, so I'm going to sit down as well. That allows us to be able to check anything that we might have at the door. If we're checklisting or we've got stuff that's going on, you know, I think that this is allowing us to arrive at the mat for this particular point in time. And as I was brought to my attention before, if you are a carer and you do need to have your phone handy to be able to answer for whatever reason during the class, please let me know, and that's absolutely okay, because that's, you know, family first, or being the carer role is very important for those who need it or who are providing it. Not a problem at all. All right, as well, so you will see in front of you the use of props is available to you. So if you have a look, if you could have a sight, there might be a block. We've got our mats. I can see that you're sitting on chairs as well. Hi, Anais at the back there. There you go. And there's straps. So if there is options for that, I encourage you to use them. So then that way you can have a go and have a feel of what a posture might be, and it enables you to get into it. All right, so from here, I want you to take a comfortable seat wherever you are, whether you're on the ground or you're in a chair. Maybe use the chair leaning back to it, so then that way we can relax and then arrive on the mat. So I'm going to ask you to either dip your head low, look forward and take a soft gaze, or if it's comfortable for you, is to close your eyes and just take a breath in. Now, when we do close our eyes, if you are taking that option, is to look and imagine that you're looking at the tip of your nose, or taking a gaze to in between where your eyes are without going cross-eyed. Right, this is referred to in yoga as looking at your third eye or going internal. And if you're taking that soft gaze, is not to focus, is to let your focus go blurry, because in that way we're just going internal and seeing what we might need for today's practice. And we usually set an intent at this stage. So I'm going to set an intent for us today. In the future, I'll offer you to be able to set your own intent, but that allows us to be able to ground and also focus back on it if our mind wanders when we are actually going into a meditation. So this week, the topic is called I'm Connected to My Breath. This week, we'll try a simple breath observation meditation. Begin to focus your attention on your breath. Without trying to change it, simply observe each breath as it naturally flows in and out. Notice the quality of your breath, its length and depth. Without judgment, just observe it. Tune into the sensations of your breathing. Feel the air entering your nose or through your mouth into the throat. And as that air enters, maybe notice that it expands your chest. Maybe you might notice as you breathe, it goes a little bit deeper for a deep belly breath. And then notice as you breathe out, your chest falling as the air leaves through your nostrils or your mouth. I want you now to take mindful 3 breaths like this, concentrating solely on the sensations of your breath. Continue breathing in this way for the next 60 seconds. And if your mind begins to wander, gently guide your attention back to observing your breath. This is what being mindful is all about. If there are any other distractions, it's just noticing it, allowing it to be there, and then letting it go, and then taking that focus back on the breath so we can arrive on our mat. Bringing that to a close, now let's set the collective intention to stay aware of our breath as we flow today. Ask you now to mentally repeat, I am connected to my breath. Awesome. All right, if you can open up your eyes, crack your eyes open, blink them open. I'm going to get a chair as well so I can give an example of what we'll be doing. We'll be focusing on breath for a little bit more, but building on that. So the first part, what we did just then, is what we call an arrival on the mat. The next component is we're going to be warming up. So if we're sitting on the ground, that's fine with your legs crossed, or if we're in our mat. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to move forward. I'll come on the side, so excuse me from the side so I can give the demonstration. Is bring your sit bones forward. If you're sitting on your on the mat, you can sort of shift your weight forward so that your sit bones are there. But we're sitting on the hips so that our hips are on the edge, or our sit bones are on the edge of the mat. Right, we're at the grand final. There's the last point there. We're sitting on the edge of our seats. It's a cliffhanger. That's where we want to be, on the edge of this. What we're going to do now is focus on our feet. Let's have a look at our feet. And if you've got shoes on, that's cool as well. But if you've got socks on, that's all right. So let's have a look at our feet in front of us. And we're going to set this up. All right, so from here, you could do that from the seated position as well. But let's just have a look at our feet. Or where it's crossed, but if you're in the seated position, is just lift the toes up and then put them down. Our knees are in front of us. We're going to have a little bit of a gap in between, because as we then come down, so I'll give a demonstration here first, is like last week, if we could place our hands by our sides with the palms sort of facing out a little bit, or 45 degrees, looking for our head, the bottom of our tailbone, and we're going to imagine the top of the crown of our head, so by dipping our chin forward. That is our position, right? Mountain pose, or seated mountain pose. If you're on the seat, we're sitting up straight, yes. So keep your legs crossed if you're on your seats, but we're grounding with our feet. So from here, we're going to inhale, to lift our hands up, and then look to our thumbs. Just lift your hands up as far as you can. They don't need to be right overhead if they're at 45 degrees, and if you've got some shoulder issues like me, that's fine as well. All right, from here, then we're gonna exhale as we then hinge from our hips. If you're on the seat, what we're doing is coming down, and then as we come here, we're gonna reach forward, and then we could dip our head last. So that's the last thing. Our hands might touch the sides of our legs. If we're on the seat, yes, we're coming down. So that is our exhale. And then as we inhale, we're going to inhale to rise. Keep slowly breathing in, looking up to the hands. Perfect. Now take another sip through your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Another sip. And then we're just going to let it go like a beach ball. So like we're at a kid's party and we need to blow up the balloons, we usually stretch them out. That's what we're doing with our lungs at the moment for the next 3 breaths. So with me, we're just going to let go when we come out. So if we're on the seats, we're going to be coming up as well. So from here is inhaling, looking to the hands, looking to the sky. Let's take 2 extra sips. In, 1 more. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Now, all right, so when we take those extra sips, I want you to notice to see if you could feel those your ribs sort of stretch a little bit. That's what we're trying to do. It's just like stretching that ball, that balloon. So from here again, mountain pose, hands out, shoulders back, crown of the head in, and our posture's nice and sitting upright. So inhaling, feeling from our belly, our chest is opening up, maybe the breath's up near our clavicles or up to our shoulders. Let's take 1 more sip. And then 1 more. Relax the shoulders a bit and then 1 more as we come up now. Inhaling. With our hands. 2 more sips. 1 more. Relax and then this one's a little bit different. So if you're on the seat, I'm going to give a demonstration. If you're on the chair, we'll come out as well. From here, we're going to do a twist and add that to it. So inhaling, I'll demonstrate. And then exhaling, we're going to be rotating to your right, my left, right? So that's your right, my left. Actually, other way around. Your left, my right, so I'm facing you. All right, and then we're bringing our hand down and then the arm across. If we're sitting up, we're pivoting from the top to the bottom. So we don't need to turn around like our head's like a bird. We're just turning around so we feel a stretch in the side body here. All right. And then coming back. So I'll do this for the seated. If we're in our easy seat in the chair, we're on the front, arms are going to come up, and then mirror me, you're going to turn to your left, my right, and rotate. So we're going to look that way, and then hand comes across, that's it, and then we're sitting up straight, so we don't need to lean, yes, and we only just go as far until we feel that stretch coming across. And then each time we breathe, we might want to try and feel we're stretching further. Okay, so let's try this again. So mirror me. All right, so if we're in the seats, seated on the ground, that's fine. From here, hands in our position. We're always looking to make sure that we're grounded first and our position's correct. And this is for the safety, and also then you'll notice where your body is for this. All right, so inhaling, hands up. We're going to rotate to the left as we exhale. Left hand, your right hand comes across to the knee. Other hand might come down. Now, yes, and then support yourself. And then we might feel that stretch in our lower body as well as we rotate around. Inhaling here, through the nose, exhaling. 2 more breaths. We might feel that our side ribs expand. Inhaling, exhaling. 1 more, inhaling, exhaling. We inhale to set, and then we exhale as we come around. So what you might have noticed before is I said inhale to set. So that's usually meaning that we're coming back around for the movement and then coming back to our neutral position or the original position that we are. And what that does, it allows us to be able to connect our breath to the movements there. And then over time, you'll notice where that movement is and where you might feel a bit tight. So let's go on the other side. You'll be turning to your right. So from here again, that mountain pose with the hands, inhaling, looking to the sky, looking to your hands, air's coming up through your chest now, and then we're exhaling as our hand comes down, across, yes, onto the knee. We're sitting up straight, yes, and then coming across. Perfect, that's great. That's a good form, everyone. 2 breaths here, inhaling, exhaling. Maybe you might choose to try and twist a little bit more or go to the same spot. Inhaling, we could back it off, and then exhaling. Inhale to set, and then exhaling, coming back around, loosening the shoulders. Fantastic form, everyone. So when we're coming across, if we're coming across and you only need to turn this much, that's how much you turn. By leaning in, that we'll be doing a different stretch in a moment to be able to allow for that lean and side stretch. So let's do this one more time on each side. Hands down, this is our seated mountain pose. Hands are out, shoulders are back. Inhaling as we bring our hands up to the sky, looking to our thumbs, and then as we prepare to rotate, as exhaling we rotate from top to bottom. Hand comes across to our knee, other hand comes down for support, and we're looking over our shoulder. For 2 breaths in, inhaling, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, inhale, hold, 2, 3, exhale. Last one to set, inhale. As we exhale to come back around, neutral position, shake it out. Maybe shake your legs a little bit. So we don't want to be feeling all tight. If you're on the seat, maybe jiggle, if you're on the mats, jiggle your feet, your legs, sorry. So from here, let's do this one more time on each side. From here, inhaling, hands up, looking to hands, and then exhaling as we rotate. Hand comes across the knee. Your right hand comes down to support. We're sitting up straight for 2, 2, 3, hold, exhaling. 2, 3, inhale, hold, 2, 3, exhaling. Inhale to set. Feel your lungs and your ribs open up a little bit more, and then we exhale, come back around, under control, and then shake it out. From this next moment here, if you're in your seat or in the chair, if you're on the seat, on the mat, if you could stand up to take a standing pose. If you're in your seat, we'll be coming to stand in a moment as well, or you could do this from where we are, from a seated position. So from here, we're going to be doing some forward folds. So if we've got the seat, maybe bring that in front of you, like this in front of me. We'll adjust to make sure that we're all set. Yes, so make sure the back of the chair is facing the front. That's it, that's it. Yep. Like you need to straddle it, yes. Yep, cool, cool. Yes, that's it. Turn yours around, please. Yep. The chair back, yes, fantastic. All right, cool. Yep, you're all right. Take your time. As we know, once we get used to this for the future, when we do what we're going into now is what we call sun salutations. And this is just warming up the spine and the body. So we're now getting a bit more movement into that. You'll know that the chair, if we're using the chair, is facing us for the moment. All right, so let's look at our feet. Let's look down on the mat, and starting from the mat, we're going to be grounding. Let's now maybe just rock backwards and forwards on your feet. As you lift your toes up, is maybe spread them apart. Right, we wear shoes quite a lot, and over time it really compresses our feet, and that takes the ability to be able to balance as much away. So when we do have bare feet, and that's why I encourage it, if you feel comfortable with it, is to have bare feet or the socks on until they get too warm. So we're rolling backwards and forwards. As we roll forwards, maybe you get on your tiptoes, and then you might feel the bottoms of your feet, the knuckles of your feet. And then as we come back, we might feel our heel a little bit. Yes, it's okay to wobble and not balance, because what we're doing is just feeling for the ground underneath us. All right, so let's come to a little bit of stillness. And then from here, if you've got a blue mat, or if you've got, see the lines on the ground from the decking board, is let's look down at our feet to start off with. And we want to be shoulder width apart with our feet facing the front or slightly splayed. Not too much, like not more than 45 degrees. All right, just slightly splayed depending on your hips. Fantastic. So let's have a look down now. We're going to have a little bend in our knees a little bit. All right, so like this, a little bit of bouncer action. All right, and then our shoulders are coming back here. So this is our mountain pose, standing. Fantastic work, everyone. So when we're here like this, our shoulders actually naturally go into a natural position in the seat where the shoulder blades are back and our shoulders are in a neutral position. So from here, again, is we inhale, hands come up to rise. And then as we felt before, with your hips is hinging as we exhale. All right, if you have the seat in front of you, you could put your hands here, but let's hinge down a little bit. That might give you some support. If you don't, you feel the need to have it, that's all right. You might want to put your hands on a block if there's a block available to you, or then we can have our hands maybe even touch the ground. The last thing you want to do, right, is shake your head, right? Let go of your head. And then maybe feel that that's a little bit loose. Right. From here, you might want to then maybe give your shoulders, put your hands on your shoulders, like this, yes. Oh, sorry, on your elbows, my bad. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. All right, the kids' song, I better remember that. And maybe just swing from side to side. Maybe you might pedal your feet, which lift one or the other. And we're loosening our lower back. So from here, we're going to let go of our hands now, and we're going to inhale to come all the way up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. All right, you'll see how the flowers come up like that. We're unfurling, the hands come up, and then inhaling to come up, looking to the hands, and then bringing your hands together, and then coming down the center line. So what we call Samasthiti, right? From here, we're going to repeat. So in prayer hands, and then coming down to mountain pose. So we'll relax for a moment. So I just want to, when we're coming down from here, what we can imagine is from our heels to our head is as we're coming down and breathing out, we're going to imagine that we're actually extending our spine as well a little bit. So that helps us grow. So we're coming in to breathe out and we're extending at the same time. So it's like this, imagining a bit of push-pull action going on. So we're connecting that breath to our movements. And we're doing this slowly in stages. So from here, mountain pose, let's look at our feet. Maybe lift your toes up. Our feet are shoulder width apart. Okay, and if you've not done this before, it's actually okay. So if you need to, if you feel like you might want to block and have a go without using the chair, that's fine, but I'll give you the options again. So from here, inhaling, hands to sky. We're going to exhale now, hinge at the hips. You can bend your knees as much as you need as well. Maybe you might imagine that your belly goes onto your thighs. Your hands might hit, take the chair for a bit of support, and you might want to loosen your neck. All right, so if you're trying to look up to listen to me, just listen, and then you can loosen your neck a little bit. Maybe your hands might touch the ground. From here, we're going to inhale as we straighten our legs a little bit and place our hands onto our shins. If this isn't available, the other option is to also just push up on the chair seat and straighten our back. Fantastic. So from here, we can imagine that we're a bookshelf, all right? And our back's going to be placing the book. So we want to straighten our back a little bit. Yes, push on our feet, straighten the legs. This is called halfway lift. And then we're going to exhale now and then go back down like a balloon to our forward fold. And then we're going to inhale to come all the way up. Inhaling slowly as we rise up to stand. Hands come out. Shoulders come straight, and then we're going to come up now, scoop that air up. Hands may come together, and we're going to come down that center line, and imagine we're growing tall and pushing on our feet as well at the same time, breathing out. All right, that gives us our power, and then from there, maybe you might want to pull your belly in towards your spine. So that's that last bit. So a couple of little things, we're doing this in stages. Let's do this a couple more times, and then it'll be as a flow. So before we do it, so we know, it'll be forward fold. We're gonna come up to our halfway, I'll demonstrate actually. So from here, looking up, we're going to forward fold. This is touching the hands or touching the ground, head comes down. Inhaling, coming up to our halfway lift, or you might choose your hands to be able to give you some extra support. And then we're going to come down, up, down, up, and then there. So I just wanted to be able to give you the flow, so then that way I can cue it and we'll be flowing through our sun salutation for the day. All right, so let's look at our feet. All right, excellent. Everything okay? Yep, yeah, all right. Okay, so let's look at our feet. Let's keep them shoulder width apart a little bit. Maybe we might move backwards and forwards. This is all about our balance. Coming in now, micro bend in the knees, shoulders back, hands out or by the sides, whatever's most comfortable for you. Inhaling through the nose or through the mouth, looking to our hands, and then we exhaling, bending our knees or hinging at the hips. Last thing now is to release our head, so then that way our necks are nice and loose. Hands are on the chair or on the ground. Inhaling, coming up to halfway lift. On our hands or on our shins or on the chair for support. We're going to exhale now, deflate like a balloon, come back down to forward fold. We can keep our knee bent and belly on thighs. One more time, inhaling. I'll give a demonstration of the hands on the shins, and then exhaling. Slowly observing that breath, inhaling. As we rise up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders come back, fantastic. Hands, looking to the sky, and then down that center line, and we're growing up and down. All right, fantastic work everyone, and you're looking amazing. Now, I wanted to be able to just quickly explain when I say stacking stacking our spine, is when we're folded like this, like a flower will come up when in spring when it comes up like this. We don't want to be, there's other ways to hinge up straight away, but that's a quick way, if we're not used to that, like this, is to put out the back. You know, I might lift up for something, oh, my back's gone. So that bit is what we're doing now here, is stacking the spine so that the vertebrae comes up one at a time, and then we're standing up. So then that way the back comes up with its natural curve in the spine, especially if you've had some lower back problems there. So that's the safe way, and a way to be able to lubricate the spine as we're coming up and down, just like a flower would in spring. All right, so let's do this one more time. Looking at our feet, grounding again, hands out, yes, mountain pose, strong, nice. So from here, let's just do 2 quick breaths, right? So inhaling, and then exhaling. We want to push your hands down, and then maybe tighten up your arms and maybe push on your feet, and then grow with your head. So inhale one more time, relax, and then beautiful. Relax a little bit now. Right, the hands, inhaling as we come up to the sky, and then we're exhaling, hinging at the hips again. All right, belly on thighs. Our hands might come to the chair or they might come down to the floor. Inhaling for halfway lift, looking at the chair, straightening the legs, exhaling, deflating again, inhaling one more time, bookshelf or halfway lift, exhaling. Actually, let's do this one more time. I want to give you another option, is inhaling. Maybe you might want to fly your arms and then stick them out like you were reaching back. Yes, like you're flying, yeah? Right. Believe it or not, I'm walking, you know. and exhaling. All right. The greatest Australian hero, not the American hero. And inhaling as we come up, growing up, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Yes. Cracks and creaks are good. All right. Boom, from here. One more. And then down. Fantastic work, everyone. So that is the first half of the sun salutation A. We'll be working towards that second half soon, but let's now, we can have this here if that provides support for you. But from here, we're going to be doing some more twists and opening up our shoulders a little bit more. So from here, it'll be your left leg, my right leg to start with. Let's just maybe lift that toe up 1 foot at a time. All right, standing straight, boom. All right, and then down, and then left foot, right foot, sorry, down, inhaling, down, inhaling for your right foot, down. We're going to do this in stages as we come up now. Inhaling, right foot comes up, and then we're going to rotate to your, yes, that's it. This way, with the foot, same way as the foot. So rotate the same way as the lifted foot. Yes. And then exhaling, down. Inhaling your right foot, toes come up, and then we exhale as we rotate. So 2 steps. Inhaling to come around and lower the foot. Fantastic. We'll do this one more time before we do include arms. So it's your left foot, inhale, and then we're going to exhale, looking to your left and my right, and then inhaling, foot comes down, exhaling, release. All right, one more time on your right foot, inhaling to set, exhaling to rotate, inhaling, coming back around as the foot comes down, and then rotate. From here, we're going to be inhaling our arms to a T as the foot comes up as well. All right, your left foot. And then we're going to exhale as we rotate around like the hills hoist. All right, goon of fortune. Inhaling to set, and we're coming back around. Hands come down. Fantastic work. Now we're going to be going the opposite way. Inhaling, right foot comes up. Arms come out in a T, and then we exhaling as we rotate around. Inhale to set, and we exhale, come back around. Fantastic, and then the hands come down. Sorry, I forgot to cue that. All right, so from here, we're going to go all the way up now and add to that a little bit more. All staged mountain pose. Left foot's the one that's going to be raising first. Inhaling up to all the way to the hands, and then we're exhaling as we then open up and turn. We're opening up our shoulders as well at the same time now here. Well, let's do 2 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Maybe you might imagine pulling your belly button in. Inhaling as we exhale. Inhale to set, and then exhaling as we come back and unfurl down. All right, let's shake that out a little bit. We don't want to get too rigid, and we don't want to forget to breathe. Last one on this, on your right foot now. Inhaling as the toes come up, looking to the sky, and then exhaling as we open up our arms to a T and look to your right. Fantastic work, everyone. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale to set. And then we exhale, coming back around the other way, and then loosening up. And my apologies, if you're doing it from the chair, that's amazing work there from the chair as well, by keeping that position there and holding your back upright. So just for those at home in the chair, I'm going to give a quick example of that. You can still do it. Is inhaling with the toe that comes up, looking up, and then exhaling as we came around. So that was fantastic work that you made that modification there for your movement. Fantastic. All right, so for those who may not need the chair, we're going into some balance postures now. So we're going to, whoa, well that was a big fart. Oh, who had beans this morning? Okay, so from here, maybe you might want to place it on the side here or to each side of the mat. So that might actually help you. Yes, that might be a little bit more useful for you. All right, so let's place it to the left side of your mat. Left side, yes. Fantastic. If you need it, we're going into some balance poses here. All right. So last week, resetting the gyroscope was a good indicator there. So I wanted to be able to back it off a little bit so then we could work on our balances. And we're going to do today is what we call tree pose. Okay, so from here, the first leg that's going to be moving is to the right. So if you want to step up so that you can have the chair a bit closer to you, yes, fantastic. Or if you're standing, that's fine again. From our standing position, everyone, is looking down at our feet. Again, we're all in our mountain pose and then feeling for our feet. You're going to see this a lot, but it's going to be really helpful this, especially when you're out and about in the shops. You go, okay, well, I'm feeling really balanced now. Okay, so from here, Maybe we might want to have our chair just there, just for a bit of balance if you need to grab it. But from here, what we'll do is, again, we're going to be raising our foot. All right, but I'll give you a couple of options. So I'll give a demonstration first. The first one will be breathing in and then breathing out as our hands come to our hips. And what we're doing is rotating our leg around and placing our heel, yes, like that, yes? Fantastic, and then our hands are on our hips. This is position 1 for tree pose. If you want to have a go at doing the balance with the foot, right, and we might be able to lift our legs, is with the right foot is lifting the leg, and then rotating our hips around and then placing the bottom of our heel onto our thigh and then having our knee facing out with our hands on our hips, or doing these for balances. So whichever way, we'll have a practice and then you'll find out which one works best for you. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so first one is the right foot that's going to move, or your left. Right foot, yeah. So I apologize, I'm trying to really teach myself how to mirror. So when I say right foot, all right, so let's go left, I'll do it this way. So your right foot, my left foot, all right, and then that way it's mirrored. So from here, so is inhale to set, exhaling, loosen. Inhale, foot comes up, exhaling, rotate around. We're setting in tree pose. Fantastic work. Now our hands might come up like a tree. Maybe let's see if we could wave around with our balance, right? And then exhaling, coming back down. All right. If we're going to be doing the balance then, so you could do the same one if your foot's down. If we're going to do a balance with some of us here, I'll cue that, but if you're doing the same one, it'll be the same that you did just before. So inhaling, lifting the foot up, and then exhaling as we come around and place our foot on. Yes, use it, yeah, fantastic work. And it's okay to be able to use this as a balance. All right, if we're holding on to the chair, maybe we might breathe in and let go for a moment. Yes, all right, 2, 1, down. And then we can place our foot down. This is a good way to be able to then take the trainer wheels off by holding in. So we'll get into the position and then we'll aim to balance for a count of 2, okay? All right, so from here, whichever way you're going to do it, I'm going to do the balance. However, if you want to do the chair, that's okay as well. So from here, inhaling, hands on hips, lift the leg and then rotate. Yes, maybe you might want to put your hand here. We're all set in our tree pose now. Our hips are out. Let's take our hands off or hands out and breathe for 2, for 1, and down. Fantastic work. All right, and that's great for our balance, everyone, but it's also great if you've got some dicky hips there, you can feel that weight come down and we're placing the weight mindfully onto that one leg. So let's now change over to the other side. Okay, so we're going to be doing this again. You know where we're going. So place the chair on the other side. Fantastic. Yes. All right. Cool. Once everyone's ready, I'm going to have a quick sip. All right. So from here, it'll be, did I? Yes. I'm confused with my head. All right, my bad. All right, left and right. All right, so from here, we'll be rotating the other foot that you're on, which is your left, my right now. So inhaling to set to try it, and then exhaling, rotating around, and then placing the knee down. Let's have a look now, if we're even going down here, is we're opening up our hips. So we're feeling that sensation that our hip is open, like this, like a book. Look down at your toes if you're looking down, and we're in a sort of 90-degree tip. Right, we're going to exhale now and come back around out of it. Just to give you that sense. That's amazing, that work balancing. So from here, we're going to breathe in, lift the leg, exhaling, rotating the foot and placing it down on the ground or on your calf. Fantastic work. Maybe we'll then let go. 3, 2, 1, and down. Fantastic work there. All right, so if you're smiling but going like this, that is also excellent because you're still smiling doing it, all right? So what we're doing is loading up that foot and then feeling for it. So again, it's all choice. So you've got options to be able to do it in a few different ways. So from here, we're going to go for the full shebang this time. If you want to have a try, you could follow on with me, or we could do the ones that you've done before. So inhaling, set, hands come up, maybe. Exhaling as we come down to the T, hand comes around. Yes, yeah, fantastic. Shaking's great. It's amazing, right? Because we all want to have fun here. All right, so that's a 3, 2, 1, and then down. Fantastic. Awesome. Wicked. That's amazing. So I reckon from here, is everyone able still to stand up for the next 5 or so minutes? All right, so let's move these to the sides. We don't need them anymore. Oh, but still have it if close if you do need it. And we're going to be going into our warrior series. So from here, if you could invite you to stand at the front of your mat. All right, the front of the mat. Fantastic. So from here, let's look at our feet. And the first thing that'll be moving is your left foot, and that's going to be stepping back. All right, so from here, looking down at our feet, opening it up, we're going to set, inhale. And then we're going to exhale and then step our back foot forward, and then we're going to face our feet to the long edge of the mat. Excellent work. All right, so from here, you are facing the wall over here. Fantastic work. And I'm going to come over a little bit. I'm going to come over here so that we're going to see what we're going to talk about. So from here, can everyone see me? Yes? All right, and I'll be cueing it anyway and then demonstrating from the top. We're doing what we call wide-legged stance. So if we can have a look at our feet want to be double width apart. Yes, a little bit more. If we look at our toes will be facing the long edge of the mat. Maybe they might be facing square. It's okay to have them splayed a little bit. All right, we've got a slight bend in our knees and our hands can be on our hips. And then that just helps us with our shoulders and our alignment. Standing up straight, okay? And then from here, we're going to inhale. And then we're going to exhale. You're going to move your right foot, my left foot, and then face it towards the short edge of the mat. Yes, face that. Okay, so now our feet, one foot's facing the long edge, the other's facing the short edge. Now, you'll notice that your body rotates automatically. So from here, we're going to inhale, and I'm going to rotate it towards me. Notice maybe that your hip feels like it's opening up. And then from here, because we're holding our breath, is then bending that knee that's facing the short edge of the mat down. All right, let's push against our back foot and our front foot in equal proportions. Fantastic work. All right, so we look over our knees looking over our toes. So we look at our knee, we look at our toes. That's fantastic. And then from here, inhaling, hands come up like the wings of a bird. We're standing up straight, not leaning forward. We're keeping that knee bent. We are in, now if we look to the front of the room, over our hands, like we're at a right dress, we are in what we call warrior 2 now. So inhaling, hands come back to hips. Exhaling, foot comes back to forward. And then we're going to step to the front of our mat. Fantastic. So we're going to go in stages, and we're going to go out in stages. So from here, I'll explain it so we can see. So inhale to set, hands on hips. Exhaling as we step our left foot back to face the long edge of the mat. Fantastic work. And we're looking down at our feet. Double foot width apart. So turn around, man. If you want to turn around and face me. And yes, yeah, that's it. Yes, yeah, okay, so double foot width apart. Let's look at our feet now. Let's open up our feet a little bit wider. Take a wider stance, that's it. All right, you know, Gangnam style riding the horse. All right, anyway, you're right near the racetrack here, so you know how you see those guys with horse riding stance. All right, so from here, we've got double foot width apart. Hands are on our hips, inhaling to set. We're moving our right foot, exhaling, just pivoting on the heel so that it's facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale again, straighten your body up to face me, and then exhale, bend your knee. That's at the short edge of the mat. Pushing against each side of the feet, fantastic. Inhale, arms come up, And then exhaling, looking over our front hand where the bent knee is. Right, we are now in warrior two. Let's take 2 breaths here, inhaling. Exhaling. We're reaching for the front and the back of the room now. Inhaling. Exhaling. So inhale, as we hands on hips, we're coming out of it now. Exhaling, foot comes around, and then stepping to the front of the mat. Fantastic work. All right, let's do this now for the other side. I like to do this in stages, guys, because then that way, as we then start with the flow, I'm into the wall, but I'm going to explain it from here as best as I can. Alrighty, everyone. So from here, from the front of the mat, inhale to set, and then exhaling, moving your right leg back, and then coming to a double stance, facing all the frames on the side here. Okay, looking at the bit of the frame, let's look at our feet. Both feet now will be facing the long edge of the mat. We'll be rotating the foot in a moment. Let's have a look now. So you want them to be parallel with each other. Yes, so use that line on the chair. Yes, amazing. That line is giving you that good alignment. Hands are on the hips. So inhaling to set. And we're going to rotate your left foot towards the front edge of the mat. That's it. Left foot, other one, yes. From here, inhale, turn the body around. Again, you'll feel you may notice that you'll feel that hip opening there. And then exhaling, bending the front foot. Yes, we're pushing now on both feet equally. Inhaling, hands come up like the wings of a plane. All right, and then exhaling, looking to the front of your fingertips. Fantastic work. We are now in warrior two on the left-hand side. All right, inhaling for 2. Inhaling, exhaling. Reach forwards and back, yes. All right, you're reaching for the RSL president's name. Inhale, exhaling. Inhale, hands back on the hips, rotating the foot around, coming up to set, and then coming to the front of the room. Fantastic work. All right, so I'm going to cue that from up here that we've done it, and we'll do that side one more time. Right foot's the one that's going to be moving. So let's have a bit of a jiggle. All right, coming in for the breathing here. All right, so last one on this side before we go into some grounding movements, or the final part of the cool down. So from here, let's have a look at our feet. One more time, let's build it up from the ground up. All right, looking at the toes, maybe releasing them down. Inhaling to set. Hands on hips. Exhaling, right foot comes back and we're facing the long edge of the mat. Yes, both feet are facing the long edge of the mat. Facing that way, facing the, yes, yes. Fantastic work. All right, let's look at our feet now. Let's have a look at the lines on the ground. So, yes, feet fully apart, yes. All right, from there, yes, that's the way. All right, so from here, so inhale to set. Left foot is the one that rotates to the short edge of the mat. Inhale to set, and we bend our knee, pushing away on both sides of the feet. Inhale, hands come up like the wings of a bird, and then exhaling, rotating our head, facing the front edge of the mat. For 2 breaths here, inhale. Exhaling, reaching front and back of the room. One more. Exhaling. So inhaling now, we're going to reverse all of that as we come in and then come to the front of the mat. Amazing work. All right, so we've come in and we've all learnt now our first part of the standing series, or our what we call the warrior series. There's 3 different moves, or there's more than that, but the 3. And next week we'll be adding to that, into that part of the movement. But it's a really good stance to be able to help you with your balance, but also help with the hip opening and leg strengthening as well as the shoulders. So it's really good to be able to do multiple moves and work on all of them. All right, so let's now, if you would prefer to go on the ground, that's fine. Or if you feel like the chair option is for you, maybe yes. Can we all actually? Can we all lie down? Are you able to lie down on the mat at all? Okay, so if you can't on the seats, I'll give an option for that. But if you can, we'll be going onto our bellies. So not onto our back, onto our bellies. Yes. Head facing towards here, yes. We're all going surfing, yes. All right, so you can keep your head down for the moment. Meh, all going surfing, yes, we're all doing leopard crawling now. All right, guys. This is something that was inspired while I was doing some work for some friends last year, and I was at an over 50s lifestyle resort. And one thing that I saw when we were renovating the place was a sign, and I was wondering, why is it so close to the bottom of the ground, as well as a panic button? And the reason why was because it was a sign that showed, how do I get up if I've had a slip, trip or fall? And how do I get back up off the ground? So one of the things that I want to be able to do as well, just as we finish off some of the sessions, if you're available, and I'll be able to help show you with some chair stuff, is how we might be able to strengthen some of our lesson. And we're doing some of this now. So from here, I'll give the option. So with the chairs, just relax for a moment. All right, we're lying down on our hands. We're going to be getting our hands and maybe placing them in front of us. And then we may put our forehead on our hands. This is what we call crocodile pose. From here, we're going to now place our hands in front of us a little bit like this. We're going to place our hands in, parallel, yes, fantastic. And then coming up like this. Right, so we're just sitting up and we're coming up to what we call, this is called seal pose. Right, like little seals on the beach. All right, so from here, we're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. All right, I'm going to get you to do that mindfully for another 3 while I show the guys in on the chair how that might look for you guys. So from here is if we've got the chair, you can come up here. Again, like we're coming here, is placing our palms on the chair, and then we're going to push up. Just as simple as this, but keeping our knees bent. From here, looking up to our hands. That's the motion. So our palms come down, yes. And then from there, move your feet back a little bit. Yes, that's it. Tailbone comes in, and then we're going to push up against our hands and come up there. Yes, that's it. And we're looking at our hands. Fantastic work. All right. And you might then raise and lower a few times like that. So maybe you breathe out and then breathe in. If we are in seal pose, that is fine. Now go back down to crocodile pose. Hands come back out. Maybe you might want to rest your cheek on your hands, whatever's most comfortable for you. That's it. There we go. Yeah, like we're asleep. We're not sleeping for a long time. So for the chair option, that could be one. If we're not doing, we could go into that meditative state there and then focus on our breathing. But for those who are on the ground, from here, we're going to be moving our right knee. So you could actually stay with your hands in crocodile position and just resting your cheek on there. But what we're doing is moving our right, yeah, that's it. Fantastic. From here, we're lifting it up. Our yes. All right, yes. Excellent. And we're coming into what we call half frog pose. We're opening up our hips again. Okay. And we're going to be taking 2 breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Can you do 2 more in your own time? I'm going to show an option for the chair, if you're seated in the chair. The other option there, if you're seated in the chair, to open up your hip is to come up and then rotate it around like this. So yeah, that's it. And just coming in here and feeling that opening up the ball and socket of your foot, using your hand as a guide and support. So maybe you might even want to put the foot down and then up. Yes. Foot comes up. Yes, exactly. On one side of the leg. Fantastic work there. And we'll be doing that for the other side of the legs. All right, so now inhaling to set if you're on the ground, and then straightening up that bent leg again. And the final one is your left leg. And then inhaling to set, and then exhaling. Let's move that into half frog position. Yes, there we go. You can flex or point your foot, whatever's most comfortable. If you're in a chair, doing those extra and adding the breath to the movement. Inhale to set, and then coming around there. This other hand might come there. Our hand might be underneath to help with this, but it's all mindful. It's just rotating and getting those hips open. And we'll be building that. Oh yes, if you want to lift your foot for a little bit of added challenge, right, that helps you really build up those inner thigh muscles. And we'll be doing that. So then over time, we'll be coming back off the ground. So last one now, inhaling, exhaling now, legs out, beautiful, that's it. Now maybe just turn onto your back. Your heads could face me, that's fine. Turn onto your back. That's all the hard work done. So we are in what we call the cool down phase of, we are in the cool down phase of the flow. Fantastic work here. All right, put your head down. No need to look up at me anymore. You can just listen in. If you're in a chair as well, I'm going to ask you to close down your eyes slightly. Close down your eyes or take a soft gaze again like we did at the start. All right, hands can be by your side, so then that way you can relax your arms. Right, if you want to take your hands overhead, that's fine as well. But usually our arms are by our side, or you can place them on your belly, whatever's comfortable for you. This is called final resting pose or corpse pose. In yoga terms, we call it Savasana. Or if you're in the seat there, is finding that last bit of grounding. And this is the last bit in what we work for in yoga to a meditation. Again, like at the start, it's with the breathing. So now you can just go internally. We're not shaping our breath in any way. Maybe you might notice when we go internal that your shoulders feel heavy. Allow them to feel heavy a little bit. Maybe you might give them a little bit of a wiggle and just see if both shoulders are touching the ground evenly. Maybe you might feel the weight of your sit bones or your tailbone on the ground. Feet are getting heavy. Just allow that. Over time, we'll build up this Shavasana because what it allows us to do is it allows our nervous system to reset after movement. And like at the start, I'll do our little meditation again. I'll read from that again and we'll just revisit it. So as you focus on your breath, without trying to change it, simply observe each breath as it naturally flows in and out. Notice the quality of the breath in its length and its depth in comparison to when we first started the practice today. And without judgment, just observe it. By tuning into the sensations of your breathing and feeling the air entering your nose or your throat, maybe you can feel it expanding your chest, or the air going lower for a deep belly breath and feel your belly rise. Maybe you might notice your belly and chest falling as the air leaves through your nostrils or mouth. Take a few more breaths like this, concentrating solely on the sensations you feel as the breath comes in and as it goes out. If your mind begins to wander, gently guide your attention back to observing your breath. Another tip for that is if you might imagine when you're inhaling, you inhale so, and you exhale hum. So and hum. And as we finish these last mindful breaths, we can set that a collective intention to stay aware of it for the rest of the day, mentally repeating, I'm connected to my breath. It gives me life. From here, maybe come back into your body and keeping your eyes closed. Maybe you might want to wiggle your toes and wiggle your hands. Right. Like we're waking up in the morning, you might want to give yourself a hug or reach overhead and stretch out. First thing you do in the morning, whatever works best for you. Maybe you might give your feet and ankles a rotation as well. If you're in the seat, maybe just rotating the shoulders there and allowing yourself to really just get heavy and relaxed. And in your own time, maybe you might roll on to your favorite side. Take a last few breaths there and then we'll meet facing me. It's all right to slowly get up with the creaks and the cracks. Beautiful. There we go. And if you're comfortable with sitting on the seat for one last moment on the mat, that's fine. And we'll close off the practice. One step at a time, that's okay. Do you need help? Yeah. One step at we're not in a rush here, so when we're getting there, when it's to take your own time, it's about making sure that you can get around there without, no one's in a rush. All right, so we'll time that so that we can get there. And you can, and make sure that your body is in a safe position whenever we're moving. All right, so we're going to close down the eyes one more time. I'm going to introduce what we call Om. So you can actually pantomime this if you don't feel comfortable by making the sound, or you could Om with me. So we're going to take one cleansing breath, inhaling, exhaling. Right, like we're on The Voice, we're not going to let anyone look at us, right? Close down your eyes. We're going to inhale for prep for Om, inhaling, one big belly breath, and then exhaling for Om. One last breath in. Relax the shoulders. Keeping the eyes closed. Let's maybe bring our hands together into what we call prayer. Thumbs by in between our chest. To clarify intent. And for our mantra today, which is I am connected to our breath. My breath. I am connected to my breath, sorry. Bring your thumbs to lips and hands in prayer still. Honouring what we say internally and what we say externally. That internal dialogue is so important. And then last thing is thumbs to third eye or in between our eyes to clarify thought. Thank you for taking this last 60 minutes for me to guide you through a practice and for taking the time to invest in your self-care and practice with movement connected to breath. Namaste.